Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. Last time we see a very simple example on the Node.js service, a hello world example. And today, as I promised, I'm going to show you how to deploy it on the Cloud9 service. So let me share my screen. All right. So this is the code we see last time. And first of all, I'm going to make a little change there. We see for every request, we just respond plain text hello world, but I want to log something on the server side to make sure for every request coming in, I will just print out get request received. Okay, very simple change. And again, all right. Create another screen tab. Curl. Here I run the server. Right, it's running. Curl sign say local host 43,000. Okay, so you see each time I send in a request on the server side, a request received is logged. Okay, let's add the server and let me copy the code. There. Okay, so let me introduce the Cloud9. First of all, you don't really want to log in your root account, in your root AWS account. You always want to create an IAM user, and then you just log into the IAM user. This is my account ID, and I already created an IAM user called Ken, and I can log in using my IAM user name. I guess this is a little bit slow because I'm using Zoom to record it. Okay, so this is a IAM user login console. A little bit slow. I'm signing. Now let's go to Cloud9. And create an environment. Just make it hello. And make sure you choose create a new EC2 instance for your Cloud9 service. And use Ubuntu 18. create a new subnet if you don't have one. Okay. So just a little review. And now I create an environment, and it would take a few minutes to create the Cloud9 service. So now you can see the IDE. Subnet. Yeah, we'll need to change something here a little bit later, but let's keep this tab open. Well, actually, let's change it while it's creating the environment. So in order to run a web service on my EC2 instance, we can see that the subnet will have a network ACL. And in my example, in my console, this rule is already set it. The port 8080 is already allowed, but if it's not in your environment, you need to change the network ACL rule to add the port 8080. Well, the 8080 just I arbitrarily choose 8080, but you can choose any port. The environment is created. I'll click on this user icon and choose Manage EC2 instance. And this running EC2 instance is the one your Cloud9 service is based on. And we can see that it already has a public IP address. But in the security group, if you click on the inbound rules, it doesn't allow any HTTP requests on port 8080. So I want to go to a security group to change the inbound rule. The inbound rules is here. And click on Edit inbound rules. Add a rule. And say from anywhere. And save it. Okay, now the rules is created. And you want to make sure that in your subnet, the ACL that is associated with your subnet must allow port 8080 as well. Now the 8080 is open. Go back through the instances. We have a public DNS address here that we can use to access our web service. But the thing is, by default, this address can change every time when your EC2 is turned on again. Like you shut down this the instance and you start it again, this address can change. So ideally, I want to assign an elastic IP to the instance here. Go to elastic IPs. And let's allocate a new elastic IP address. Okay, and choose this address. Select associated with EC2 instance, and you can choose the instance which is created there. All right, so now if you go back to the instance tab here, we can see that it has an elastic IP. And this is a public DNS address. So let's see what's in there. If I go to my curl and I say curl HTTP looks like nothing is there. I should remove this. All right, nothing is there. And try A80. It's A80 open up. No, connection refused because the service is not up. Right. So if I copy my code and go to the Cloud9 IDE here, and just create a hello a little bit slow here. Nope, it's a little bit slow. I guess when I'm running both Zoom and the Cloud9 servers here, it's a little slow. Let me create a new terminal. Oh, while we're waiting, let me change code a little bit. So first, let's change the port 8080. And it's very important that you change this hosting from localhost to the public DNS name. Let's copy this and put it here. Okay.好，没问题，没问题，好。 好，没问题，好，没问题，好。Sorry guys, just answer the phone right quick. Um, yeah, I guess this is ready now. Making the terminal tab. And now it's working. Doing the hello. Yeah. And copy the code here. So make sure your host name is not localhost. The host name must be the actual public DNS that is associated to the EC2 instance. Okay. Now run it. And here you see there's a warning message saying that you have to be careful about the port number and the host name. You must use the public DNI host name instead of the local host to let your service accessible on the internet. So back to my local curl client and try to send the request again. Okay, we get a hello world. We do it a couple times, and we should be able to see the GET request received. Okay. If I send the request, and this is the server running on the EC2. All right, that's it. Okay. So you might be wondering why I recommend Cloud9 for you to start. Let me show you. So the purpose of this tutorial, Cloud9 is not used as a IDE, although it's actually a pretty powerful IDE, but I want to use the terminal here. Because the Cloud9 has set it up a lot of prerequisites for you, you don't need to manually install Node.js. Node.js is installed for you, and it has Docker. Oh, it gets stuck for some reason, but I think it does have Docker installed, and it has even have a Spring installed. So you don't have to install this by yourself. Okay. So now our hello world service is on this Oh, I actually shut it down service, but that's fine. If we know that the service was on this URL, need to be careful that before this is working, you have to set the security group inbound rules and also the network ACL to open up the port 8080 to the public. And I think that's all for today. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to change this URL uh, to your own domain name. I'm going to show you how to register a domain name on maybe GoDaddy, and then assign the domain name uh, to your assign domain name to your running EC2 instance. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.